in a family of elite combat athletes and top-tier performers, the final boss has always stood out, even when he was just a blue chipper. But there wouldn't be a final boss, there wouldn't even be a bloodline if it wasn't for The Rock's grandfather, the High Chief Peter Maivia. You can think of him as the first boss. Predecessor to the tribal chief.
He is one of, if not the foundation for our family. The Anawa'i Fatu Maivia wrestling dynasty. I don't think there's anybody more responsible for what's going on now than the High Chief himself.
Peter Maivia isn't simply one of the two principals behind the sacred blood bond. He's also an incredibly decorated professional wrestler who traveled the world and won titles everywhere he went. New Zealand, Japan, Europe, and here in the United States, where he enjoyed especially successful runs in Hawaii and California. Maivia would eventually find his way to WWE, engaging in legendary battles with the likes of superstar Billy Graham. His larger-than-life personality would win the WWE Universe over in short order, as it had throughout his entire career. In the ring, High Chief Peter Maivia was a potent blend of brawn and grappling technique, often muscling his opponents down to the mat through a variety of joint locks and then switching to more painful holds once grounded. His sleeper hold and stump puller were both feared and renowned, and make no mistake about it, Maivia knew there was always more than one path to the ultimate victory. Out of the ring, High Chief Peter Maivia also ran one of the most successful wrestling promotions on the planet, Polynesian Pro Wrestling, based out of Hawaii, showing his mastery of the business in every aspect. His induction into WWE's Hall of Fame class of 2008 was supremely deserved, forever enshrining Peter Maivia as the legend he always was. And now, we present to you the opportunity to walk in the boots of the legendary High Chief Peter Maivia, facing off against one of the most legendary WWE rivals, George the Animal Steele. You will settle this score once and forever, and showcase the overwhelming strength of Peter Maivia, which has ever since remained as a hallmark for every single solitary member of this bloodline. Steele is no easy battle, though. He thrives in the chaos, one of pro wrestling's true madmen. He'll even try to eat part of the ring if he thinks it'll help him break you down. So do your best and honor High Chief Peter Maivia properly with a resounding victory.
Steel cage match underway. Peter Maivia versus George the Animal Steele. Most of the matches between Peter Maivia and George Steele have ended inconclusively, but this time we'll have a winner.
These are two very different men. The High Chief is a man of great pride and respect for the ring, while Steele is, well, he's an animal. I can't think of two opponents with more opposing styles.
You said it, Corey. Let's just hope this one gets taken care of in the ring tonight.
Pulled back into the hip toss.
George the Animal Steele is not a wrestler by any stretch of the imagination, guys. He's a true brawler.
And he might be the best brawler in WWE, Michael. There is no shortage of fight in the Animal.
But you know who might be a better brawler, guys? The High Chief Peter Maivia. When you consider that Maivia is also an excellent high flyer and a great technician, Well, you can see why the High Chief is the favorite in this match, even with the steel cage stipulation.
Ouch. Ooh, a nasty shot to the throat. Oof.
The High Chief just refusing to be intimidated.
The Animal has no idea what...
Nice takedown. Stack them up. Turns the tables. Shoulders down. Oh, great counter and a cover.
And there's the kick out. Too soon for a cover.
And a heinous attack to the knee.
The tried and true method to taking anyone down. Like a brick wall running into you.
We've seen that Steele isn't above using a foreign object to gain the edge against Maivia. So he's got to have the advantage in a match where they're surrounded by one huge weapon, right?
Well, you'd think that, Cole, but think about how these men prepared for this match. The High Chief is a consummate professional who's game planned for this stipulation. And Steele, well, I think he just shows up to the arena and asks who he's fighting.
The Animal has to be elated to be in this steel cage against one of his biggest rivals, no less.
Yeah, Byron, we've seen the Animal brandish a weapon against Peter Maivia before when it was against the rules. The High Chief better be prepared for Steele to get even crazier.
Oh, Maivia's prepared, all right. The man is extremely tough and agile. In fact, the High Chief's entire body can be considered a weapon.
Oh, he cuts it off. Into the chop block, a debilitating counter there.
He gets out of the way. Shoulder tackle. He's getting fired up now, really feeding off this crowd. Maivia able to evade.
George the Animal Steele might be a bit of an underdog here. In fact, he lost the match by countout to the High Chief.
In Steele's defense, I'm not sure he knows how to count exactly or how to read a rule book. So he's got to be happy to be in this cage.
Well, Maivia is called the High Chief in part because of his commanding presence in the ring. He's more than ready for what the Animal will throw at him, even inside a cage.
Mistake made by Steele.
Oh.
Straight impact on the throat.
Soaring European uppercut.
Right to the back of the neck.
Maivia has Steele in his sights, looking to put the Animal down. And George is caught. Ooh, man, backbreaker. And George is laid out.
Some folks call Peter Maivia the Flying Hawaiian, and the reasons are obvious for that moniker. But guys, how does he earn the other nickname of the High Chief?
Well, Cole, Peter Maivia is very close to the Anawai family. In fact, Peter's considered a blood brother to the patriarch of that clan.
When you add on the fact that Maivia was born and raised in Samoa, you can see the great pride he has for that land and its people in the tribal ink that covers his body.
Ooh. Momentum is all with Maivia now.
Yeah, Maivia has really figured the Animal out here.
The High Chief Peter Maivia really making a name for himself at WWE, but he's had plenty of experience on the way up.
Plenty of championships on the West Coast, but he's made the biggest splash in Hawaii, where he earned multiple tag team titles.
Oh yeah, Maivia is a huge celebrity on the islands. In fact, I've heard some consider him the personification of Maui. Setting up again. Oh, back first. Does Peter Maivia have this sewn up? Opportunity is just a few feet away now.
Seated at the top of the cage right now. He's trying to escape. He's got to give everything he has to push himself over the top.
This is what he's been training for. This moment right here.
And the High Chief defeats the Animal.
here is your winner, High Chief Peter Maivia!
Anytime these two have faced off, it's been eye for an eye. But the steel cage has finally delivered a decisive
PlayStation